Welcome back. I am Collins Trott, Child Development Faculty on the Wallace Community College Dothan campus. In this episode, we are going to be learning about the Manipulative and Math Center. This episode describes the Manipulative Math Center. We also will discuss how a well set up Manipulative and Math Center can promote a child's development in many domains, including social, emotional, cognitive, language, and creativity. So, join me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about the Manipulative and Math Center. Math and preschool programs involves children in interacting with interesting collections of objects. If such activities do not stimulate your children's interest in math, if such materials do not pique your own interests, then you need to learn something more about the importance of math in all of our lives. How crucial it is that young children get a good start in the basic pre-math skills, and how critical it is that young children not start out with negative attitudes towards math. Neither physical knowledge nor logical mathematical knowledge can really be separated in a child. They develop together and depend on one another. Both kinds of knowledge depend on manipulation. Children need to manipulate the physical objects in their environment in order to provide their brains with the sensory stimuli necessary to form logical thought. That is why the math skills promoted in your classroom need to be manipulative. Your Manipulative Math Center will also be helping children develop good small motor coordination. As children handle these materials and activities you provide, they will be strengthening their finger muscles and developing eye-hand coordination along with the logical mathematical knowledge they acquire. At least one of the classroom computers should be located here. Children using computer programs featuring opposites, matching, and memory will want to play matching games in the Math Center. In addition, they will soon be deeply involved in all sorts of activities with numbers, supported by appropriate computer programs and apps. The self-regulating method you have to put in operation throughout your program will help children select manipulative and math activities during the free choice period. The center itself should be large enough to accommodate at least 4 children comfortably. There should be a table with 4 chairs and floor space for children who prefer to sit on the floor while they work, sectioned off with material shelves or room dividers. Manipulative and math materials are almost unlimited. The shelves of this center should feature many of the items, including sections filled with collections for sorting and matching, containers of counting objects, table blocks or building sets, several sets of puzzles, a number of board games and counting games, toy cash registers, an abacus, counting frames, materials for teaching particular concepts such as shape and colors, eye-hand coordination activities such as stringing beads and buttoning boards, card games, lotto games, and dominoes, and all kinds of counting books as well as size, shape, and other concept books. Be sure to label your shelves with illustrated and lettered signs for all of your materials. Not only will children become familiar with such symbolization, but they will also be able to see what is available and later return materials to their place with greater ease. Change some of the materials from time to time as interest wanes or as new concepts are being featured throughout the program. But be sure particular materials are available for long enough time for most of your children to become deeply involved. Also, have a bulletin board or an attractive wall space to display your children's math activities. In addition to the math materials and activities in the Manipulative Math Center, be sure that the entire room is a math-rich environment. We often speak of print-rich environments that help children emerge into literacy. The same principle applies to math. Make your math-rich environment to help the children develop logical, mathematical knowledge. Playing math games, doing math puzzles, and counting 1 to 20 are not enough for young children to understand math. Children also need to think about and reflect on what they are doing. Teachers need to observe children carefully as they work and play in the Manipulative and Math Center with the idea of eliciting information about why children are doing what they are doing and what they think about. When the teacher sees children playing with math materials, they should ask them open-ended questions. Why did you do it that way? Or, what did you think would happen? The more of these kinds of responses you gather, the more you will know about what the child is learning and how you can help them progress further. Teachers also need to keep careful track of individual children in the center in order to determine their developmental levels. Children playing together in the Manipulative Math Center may be at the same or different levels of development as they interact with the materials. Careful observation and recording of children in the center can help teachers support children needing assistance as well as plan for individuals who are ready for more challenging activities. Children often play with these materials on their own or parallel to other children seated at the same table. Your daily observations will help you know when and how to interact with the children. You may want to comment on what some of the children are doing in the area in order to learn more about their thinking or what concepts they are dealing with. Rather than a direct question, it is often more appropriate to make a statement about their work. Some manipulative math activities are best introduced by the center itself, with the children finding them on their shelves and figuring out how they work on their own. Others are better introduced by one of the teachers. If you know that your children have become really interested in a particular topic and want to go further with it, you may decide to introduce the new activity to a small group of children in this center. Later in the day or on the following days, other children can come into the center and be introduced to the new activity, either by you or by the children who already know something about it. Now, let's review what we've learned. Manipulative and math activities can impact children's development in all domain areas. In setting up the Manipulative and Math Center, teachers need to have a variety of manipulatives, label the shelves, and make it a math-rich environment. The teacher's role is to set up the center in the first place with appropriate materials for the children's easy selection and return. Then they need to observe individual children to determine at what level they are interacting with materials in order to support their further development. Help children think and reflect about what they are doing. Then observe, sit beside a child, and ask appropriate questions. That wraps us up for this episode. You can learn more about this topic by reviewing the resources posted in your course. As always, if you have any questions, please contact me or your instructor. Thanks for joining me, Miss Trott, as we learn all about the Manipulative and Math Center. See you next time.